Hello, my name is Marla Roper with Computer Futures. Today I'm joined with Andres Traslavina, Director of Global Recruitment of Whole Foods Market. Andres, thank you for your time today to discuss technology's effect on hiring.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
In what ways has technology impacted the way that we have recruited recently?
Recruiting, it's a broken industry, right? I think the data points that we use to recruit people are based on what you know and what you've done in the past. And you look at the resume, you look at your experience, you look at your accomplishments, right? But great recruiting is based on understanding the potential that the person has to become the next CMO or the next VP of sales. So technology, I think it's allowing recruiters to understand what really matters in the workplace as far as retaining and promoting your best. And that has nothing to do with your color of your hair, with where you went to school, with your nationality, or the great accomplishments that you've had in the past. It has to do with your ability to collaborate as a team, with your ability to work intensively, with your ability to adapt to change, with the way you're positive, with the way you're an extrovert or an introvert if you have to be. So I'm speaking more around people's natural talents, right? So how do you measure the level of positivity that somebody has, right? Through the right questions, through science. Now we have, there are millions of assessments, but there are better assessments that are designed by industrial psychologists that are helping companies understand, what makes your best employees be the best. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being high, maybe our best are 8 in positivity, 7 in adaptability, 9 in resilience. So I think this is a breakthrough in the next wave of how recruiting is going to be done, because we're going to have all these data points that are going to make the resume obsolete. Resumes are just a piece. Anybody can create a resume. Most people lie in their resume. So now you will have people who would never in a million years would have an opportunity to come and work at Whole Foods Market or go to Google or go to a very cool startup, because we're presenting the hiring person, the hiring leader, with the data that is absolutely relevant to what's going to make that person succeed in the future. That is actually what I'm very passionate about. I would love to accelerate the process of embedding assessments, which will help also with something that's called unconscious bias, right? Even if we have the best intentions, even if we use the best tools in an interview setting, I'm either going to like you a lot, or I may not like you because of something that didn't click with me. By having an objective set of questions, an assessment, and something that lets me compare, apples to apples, I think it's going to be a game changer. In addition to that, I feel also that we are going to, go to pools of talent where now we're not having, a lot of success, or the competition is too high. By having these data points, you can go to Poland, you can go to Brazil, you can find talent that can probably be a good fit for the company wherever they are. Because as you know, in your industry, we're having a very tough time, finding, especially hard to find software engineers, and so that I think that will open the door to, finding more great candidates.
Definitely. How will technical advances such as machine learning or artificial intelligence impact the way that we recruit in years to come?
Yeah, so we were talking about sourcing, right? With so many data points around people in your own company, artificial intelligence can help understand the trends, the patterns, the consistency of how some people behave, what were the triggers that got some people to a company, and then you can replicate that to attract more like your best, right? I think, based on sometimes the volume of candidates applying for jobs, artificial intelligence will help, a company, create the channel to talk to people that may not get to talk to humans, right? So I believe it's very similar as when you go shopping, right? And you have, someone that will assist you when you have questions, right? There are many questions that can be answered by an automated, system, and that will keep candidates engaged. Again, relying on machine learning and relying on artificial intelligence, it's great up until a certain extent.
Right.
I believe that human beings and people connect with other people, and people connect with emotions. And if there's something that humans can do is express emotion. Right? I can express emotion around my brand. It's hard to have an automated bot, express emotion, right? They can say it. So again, it's a combination between allowing technology, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and the right human being that can put everything together.
And what do you see as the most important steps that recruiters need to take to make the most of these recruitment technologies that we have available?
Yeah. So I feel that learning to become very data-driven, understanding the basics of data, learning how to do certain tricks on Excel, starting from there. But more than the data, right? Understanding how to design, create, and understand insights, right? How to present the data. So I am a big fan of Tableau. There are other data visualization tools, Power BI, and whatever you use to visualize your data and to dumb down the data so you can persuade people around, what your objective is. Right? So being data driven and always connecting the data to the end result. Right? So if you talk about recruiting, you can have a lot of people that visit your website, a lot of people that apply to your jobs. But there's a difference between that and people that you actually hire, right? So connecting all the data points to the actual tangible results that matter to the company, right? That matter to the C-suite, right? In retail, for instance, it's important to understand, who comes to your company and who is converted into an actual customer. They may not be your next hire, but if we can show that because of what we did in recruitment, they became a customer and they brought a certain percentage of the revenue, I think that shows that you're thinking more of a revenue center and not as a cost center. So recruiters need to understand the data points that are important to their business, whether it's metrics of service, metrics of quality, metrics of sales, and connect that to what they're doing. That's the data, the technology side. Obviously, be always curious. You can't be the best recruiter unless you're learning every day. I feel that I don't know anything up until when I wake up the next day, because something new comes up, and the ability to learn, the ability to grasp, all the new technologies, tools, it's what will make a great recruiter great, right?
Right.
But the other piece has to do with that human emotional piece that we were talking about before, right? If you can't sell by emotion, if you can represent your brand and be an advocate of your brand, it's gonna be tough to, beat your competitors.
Right.
So always, trying to, put the human touch combined with science, combined with technology, and find ways to represent everything as a whole, right?
Right. It's really interesting. I really like that point of view on that. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you speaking to us about this. And thank you to Whole Foods and to Computer Futures for hosting this interview.